Before you scroll, listen to this. Michael Jackson didn't just die from drugs. He died because he trusted the wrong person. And once you hear what really happened, you won't see this story the same way again. Because this story isn't just about fame. It's about trust, and what happens when that trust is put in the wrong hands. People always ask, was Michael Jackson murdered? And the truth is, it's complicated. It wasn't a planned attack, but it also wasn't just an accident. It starts with a man named Dr. Conrad Murray. On paper, he was a doctor, professional, educated, someone whose job was to save lives. But behind the scenes, his life was falling apart. He had multiple children with different women. Child support he wasn't paying. Court cases piling up. Debt. Credit cards maxed out. Mortgage problems. He wasn't just struggling. He was desperate. And desperate people make dangerous choices. Then one day in 2009, his phone rings. And on the other end is Michael Jackson. Not just a celebrity. Not just a singer. The most famous human being on earth. But even Michael was struggling. He was 50 years old. Still legendary. Still iconic. But under massive pressure. Financial problems. Legal battles. Health issues. And worst of all, severe insomnia. Reports said Michael was hundreds of millions of dollars in debt. So he planned this as it. A comeback tour. 50 shows. Sold out in hours. This wasn't just a tour. It was survival. But Michael couldn't sleep. Not normal sleeplessness. The kind that breaks your mind. The kind that makes you desperate. He remembered a drug he was given during surgery. Propofol. Now listen carefully. Propofol is not a sleep drug. It doesn't help you rest. It shuts your body down. It puts you into a medical coma. It's meant to be used in hospitals. With machines. With monitors. With trained staff watching every second. Any responsible doctor would have said no. But Murray didn't. Instead, he saw money. $150,000 a month. Status. Power. Being known as Michael Jackson's doctor. So he said yes. They created a routine. Rehearsals during the day. Propofol at night. No hospital. No heart monitor. No emergency equipment. Just trust. Night after night, Michael's life was being placed in the hands of a man who cared more about money than medicine. Then came the final night. Michael still couldn't sleep. Murray gave him sedatives. Nothing worked. So he gave him propofol. And then he walked away. You never leave someone under anesthesia? Not for a second. Not ever. But he did. And while he was gone, Michael stopped breathing. No alarm. No monitor. No one watching. Minutes passed. Murray was distracted. Emails. Phone calls. Even telling an insurance company that Michael was in perfect health. Think about that. When he finally checked, panic hit. He tried CPR. But he did it wrong. And instead of calling 911, he called security. Not doctors. Not emergency services. Security. And before help was called, they cleaned the room. The drugs. The evidence. Only then was 911 called. Some say Michael went without oxygen for over 25 minutes. Others believe much longer. By then it was already over. The world lost an icon. When the autopsy came back, everything changed. Lethal levels of propofol were found in his system. His death was ruled a homicide. Not an accident. Not natural causes. A death caused by medical negligence. Murray was arrested. Put on trial. Found guilty of involuntary manslaughter. But here's why people still say Michael was murdered. Because murder isn't always someone pulling a trigger. Sometimes it's choosing money over duty. Sometimes it's choosing status over safety. Sometimes it's walking away when you should stay. Michael trusted someone who saw him as a paycheck, not a patient. And that trust cost him his life. Soft, emotional. That's the part that hurts the most. Not just the drugs. Not just the negligence. But the betrayal. Call to action, calm but strong. If this story made you stop, if it made you feel something, don't just scroll away. Subscribe to this channel. Because here, we tell the stories that deserve honesty. Stories about truth, power, and what happens when trust is placed in the wrong hands. Hit subscribe right now. You don't want to miss what's coming next.